Have you ever wondered, am I actually ahead or way behind when it comes to money? Maybe you've stared at your bank balance at night thinking, do people my age have way more saved than I do? Or you've scrolled through Instagram, watching friends post Bali vacations, new cars, and thought, how are they paying for all this? Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on what the average person's financial life really looks like. Some numbers might actually make you feel better, but others? They're going to hit like a wake-up call. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand compared to everyone else financially, and maybe even what to do next. I'm Ryan. I break down money, wealth, and personal finance in a way that actually makes sense. And hey, if you want to stop stressing about money and finally get ahead, hit that like button and subscribe. So let's start with a question. When you imagine the average person's money situation, what picture comes to mind? Someone responsibly saving and investing for retirement? Or someone barely holding on, living paycheck to paycheck, crossing their fingers that things magically work out? Most of us think we know what normal looks like, but the truth? It's way different. And knowing the truth matters. This isn't about curiosity, it's about strategy. If you were trying to get fit, you'd want to know the average weight and workout habits. If you were in school, you'd want to know average grades. Money works the same way. Once you know where you stand, you can make sharper decisions about spending, saving, and investing. So let's kick off with the one thing everyone cares about, income. When that paycheck lands, are you above or below average? According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median weekly earnings for a full-time worker are just over $1,000. That's about $52,000 a year before taxes. Now remember, that's individual income, not household. And median means half of people earn more, half earn less. If you're pulling in $26 an hour, you're dead center. But here's the kicker. That $52,000 is before Uncle Sam takes his cut. After federal, state, Social Security, and Medicare, the average person's take-home drops to between $35,000 and $40,000 depending on where they live. Suddenly, that solid paycheck feels a whole lot smaller. But income is just the starting line. The real question is, what do people actually do with that money? And this is where things get scary. Let's talk retirement savings. According to the Federal Reserve, the median American has only $65,000 saved for retirement. And about 25% of Americans don't have a retirement account at all. That's 1 in 4 people with literally zero saved, planning to live entirely on Social Security. And that's assuming it even exists by the time they retire. Now for the people who do save, the breakdown is eye-opening. Under 25, the median balance is less than $2,000. Ages 25 to 34, around $14,000. By 65 and older, the median hits $88,000. Sounds decent, right? Until you do the math. Follow the 4% withdrawal rule, and $88,000 gives you about $3,500 a year. That's less than $300 a month. Seriously, could you live on $300 per month in retirement? Even with a paid-off home that barely covers groceries, never mind healthcare or utilities. And since so many people depend on Social Security, let's check that safety net. The average benefit is $1,550 a month, about $18,600 a year. If you've got no mortgage, maybe you can scrape by. But remember, that's the average. If you had low-earning years, you'll get less. For plenty of retirees, Social Security checks barely keep the lights on. Now let's shift to right-now spending. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says the average household spends $5,577 per month. That's $67,000 a year, which means just to break even, the average family has to bring in that much after taxes. Want to save anything? You'd better earn more. So where's it all going? Biggest category, housing. About $1,885 a month. More than $22,000 a year just for shelter. And if you live in New York or San Francisco, that number sounds laughable. $1,800 there might get you a glorified closet. Next up, food. The average family spends $691 a month, over $8,000 a year, on groceries and dining out. If you're feeding your family for less than $700 a month, either you're a genius meal planner or you've mastered the art of ramen noodles. Transportation is another giant slice. $913 a month, nearly $11,000 a year. Cars, gas, insurance, public transport, it adds up fast. Combine housing and transportation, and you're already spending $2,700 a month before buying food. That's why financial experts warn those two categories should never exceed 50% of income. But for most families, they already do. Now let's check in on credit scores. According to Experian, the average FICO score in America is 715. That's considered good. Many people are at least paying bills on time and keeping debt manageable. But don't be fooled. Millions are sitting in the 500s and 600s, getting slammed with high loan rates. And here's where things get ugly. Credit card debt. The average household carries more than $9,000. And unlike a mortgage or car loan, that money's usually gone, spent on clothes, gadgets, nights out, impulse buys. Add brutal interest rates of 15 to 25%, and $9,000 in debt can easily cost $1,800 a year in interest alone. That's cash you'll never see again. Now, the big picture, net worth. This is the truest snapshot of financial health, what you own minus what you owe. The median U.S. household net worth is $122,000. But by age, the story gets clearer. Under 35, less than $14,000. Ages 35 to 44, $91,000. 45 to 54, $168,000. By 55 to 64, it's $212,000. And 65 to 74, $266,000. Not impossible numbers. With steady income and discipline, they're achievable. Spend less than you earn, invest consistently. Boom, you can get there. But most people never do. Why? Because the average American only saves 6% of their income. That's it. And that tiny percentage makes a huge difference. Think about it. The average down payment on a house is $62,000. A kitchen renovation? $26,000. A new car? $47,000. Saving just 6% doesn't cover short-term goals, let alone retirement. Experts say you should be saving 10 to 15% just for retirement, and more if you want to retire early. Speaking of retirement, the average retirement age is 61. Sounds nice, right? Retiring early. Except full Social Security doesn't kick in until 67. That's 6 years you have to fund yourself. And if your savings look anything like the median, those 6 years are going to feel brutal. Here's the real kicker. The average 65-year-old can expect to live another 19 to 21 years. Retire at 61? That's potentially 25 years of retirement to pay for. And with $88,000 in savings, the math just doesn't work. These stats prove one thing. The average approach to money isn't working. But here's the good news. Beating average isn't rocket science. Save more than 6%. You're already ahead. Avoid credit card debt? You're way ahead. Invest regularly. Even in simple index funds? You'll lap most people. Think about it. If the average household spends $5,500 a month, but you figure out how to live on $4,500, you free up $12,000 a year to invest. Do that for decades, and you'll be in a completely different league. That's the power of compounding. Earn a bit more than $52,000, save more than 6%, avoid high-interest debt, invest consistently, and you'll retire with way more than $88,000. At the end of the day, these stats reveal a hard truth. The average person's money habits don't match their goals. Everyone says they want financial security, a comfortable retirement, less stress. But their actions don't line up. Maybe they assume everyone else is doing fine. Maybe they don't know where to start. But here's the thing. If you're watching this, you already care. That alone puts you ahead of millions of people who never look at their numbers. So don't get discouraged if you're behind. Use these stats as motivation. Start small, stay consistent, and over time, you'll blow past the averages. Because honestly, you deserve way better than retiring at 61 with $88,000 and hoping Social Security bails you out. You deserve freedom, security, and peace of mind. And beating the average? It's not complicated. It just takes being intentional with your money while everyone else drifts. So, the question is, do you want to be average? Or do you want to be better than average?